Good morning, it's Ecom Rebel. We're back again with a live. So it is Tuesday morning, it's nearly 10 o'clock in the morning. Now we'll do a quick update with the market, and then I'll get into a couple of news, bit of news that I saw that I thought I'd share with you. Alright, so let's have a quick look on coinlib.io. Alright, let's check out what we got here. So Bitcoin 6,255. Ethereum 459, Ripple 48 cents, Bitcoin Cash 757, EOS $8.27, Litecoin $81, Stellar 19 cents, Cardano 13 cents, IOTA $1.02, and Tron rounding out top 10 at 4 cents. So overall, at the moment the market is up, I'd say So Bitcoin's around about 2%, and the biggest gainer there in the top 10 is IOTA, up 4.47. So at the moment it's been good. This last 24 hours we've seen some drops down to I think 5.8 with Bitcoin. So at the moment we've recouped a few of those losses that have come through. And then the good thing about this too is the volume. Volume, 24-hour volume is 13 billion, a little bit more volume than normal. Bitcoin dominance yesterday was 42%, it's at 41.88 now, and total market cap 255 billion. All right, so let's have a quick look at some of the news. Good little news source too is, if you're not sure, don't know about this one, it's called CryptoPanic.com. It's pretty good. It has a lot of different feeds in it. A couple of things I picked up today was this one here. So if you've got a Trezor, which you guys don't know, that's what a Trezor looks like. Okay, Trezor is adding a Bitcoin private support in the recent firmware update, so that is pretty exciting, and that's both for Trezor Model T, Trezor One, and Trezor Wallet. So that's pretty exciting. That's good to see. So there's that news, and there was a couple of other ones. So this one here was about Coinbase still struggling with growing pains. And so I want to talk about these. There's two articles, this one and another one to do with Circle. And basically, this is why, even though the price, you might, if you've only just looked at the market or you've been around for the last year, you've seen the price go to 20k and drop back to 6k, 5.8, and you're looking at it going, wow, it's lost so much value, and is it really going to be around? So if you go back 12 months, a lot of these businesses weren't as big as they are. Some of these businesses didn't exist. So this one here is about Coinbase. Now Coinbase is essentially one of the biggest places you can buy and sell crypto. It's probably the number one for onboarding new members. So people that want to get started in crypto, they buy crypto from Coinbase. They've got like an online wallet, and they can start off that way. You can pay by credit card. So that they've been around for a long time, and they're pretty big. So it says here, just reading, having a quick look through here. So in 2016, it had 4.7 million users, right? 1 year later, October 2017, it had 11.7 million users, so 150% increase. Now, with all that, all those new users that came on board, so the biggest problem with Coinbase was the lack of customer support, which is what this article's about. But essentially, they've been addressing those issues, and essentially, there was 134 pages of customer complaints filed with SEC and all this sort of stuff. So there's been a lot of complaints against them, but this is all part of growing a huge business. So Coinbase has been growing, but the point of it is the number of users that are onboarding. So I'm not sure what the current numbers are right now for Coinbase, but I would imagine it would be more than what it was back in 2017. So basically, there's a lot more users coming on board. They're buying Bitcoin or Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever coin they're getting into, and that's once they have an account. It's easy to go back and buy again once you've got the account. So, this is all part of the game. More adoption, more people involved in crypto. So I think this is a good thing. And this was not, as big as it was previously, but it's now that it's there and it can handle more volume and more user base. So that's a good thing. Another article was Goldman Sachs backed Circle. All right, so Circle is essentially a platform for trading. So it was a blockchain startup, and they've reported that in May. Now this is when Bitcoin was down 20%. They reported in May that their uptake on new institutional investors was up 30%. Okay, and they're basically they're used to high frequency trading and bigger block orders, and at the moment they're working on so most of the institutional investors, it says they don't go through telephone broking, they don't do that, they use electronic interfaces. So they're basically, I imagine they're upgrading and changing their product to suit what people are after. But essentially they're getting more institutional investors on board. And they state that even in May they had a sharp increase of essentially new customers and getting onboarding for these guys. Now this is the thing that what most people don't realize is all this regulations come in, okay? All this red tape and all the companies that stand to make good money. Let's put it this way: they missed out last year. They weren't prepared for it. They didn't know what was going on. It just happened and blew up. A lot of people made money, but they didn't necessarily make the money. So now what happens is now they're catching up. They've got legislation, they're making it so you have to go trade through these things. They're putting in taxation. So all these things in place. And then what this does is, instead of like a small investor that maybe putting in 10, 20, 30, 100K or something like that, these guys and plenty other places like this are putting in we're talking 100,000, we're talking 1 million, maybe even more, and they're bringing institutional money and essentially hedge funds. And this is why we've seen other reports of how the crypto market at the moment is such a small market, and if any money flows from traditional investments and the traditional hedge funds and all that sort of stuff, only just turn on a little bit, it's going to flow into this space. And once they turn those taps on, these guys that are running these institutions, they want to make sure they're getting a cut of it, which is why they build these platforms, they onboard customers in there, and they essentially, let's have a look at this one here. It says it's the institutional investor with a minimum 250,000 order size. Okay, so basically, to be putting through trades, you've got to spend $250,000. So this is where it comes into the institutional, and this is where it comes into the a lot of money. Morning, Gary. How you doing? So yeah, basically, I just thought to share that with you because a lot of people forget that. We've seen this pullback, and people are worried about it. But don't kid yourself. There is billions and dollars going in and right now investing in all these different projects, and they're just slowly gaining momentum. And soon you're going to have all these institutional investors and bigger investors with large sums of money. They're going to be putting that into Bitcoin. Now they may be doing it over the counter. You may not see it through the exchanges, but it will cause the price to go up. There's no doubt about that, because it's a fixed resource Bitcoin, and essentially, with this amount of cash coming into the market, it's just going to go up. There's no doubt about that. And this is why they've spent the time putting all these things in place so they can profit from them. I mean, we're talking banks and financial institutions. That's what they do. And if they can try and ban someone from trading or participating, they're just really getting rid of their competition. And that's what they're trying to do. And that's the way it is in some markets, especially in the US. So I thought I'd just share those couple of little articles with you, which I thought was really good, considering there's a lot of negative news and stuff like that. I'll finish off with have a look here. So this chart, this is Bitcoin. This is on the BTC USD on a daily chart, and this is probably looking from April last year. We've got the run up to December, and now we're here June, heading into July. Now, some people believe in TA, technical analysis, and some people don't and believe in fundamentals. But it's all relative. You can use them in conjunction with each other. I look at it and it's essentially it's just a way of reading what the market is saying. And sure, you may not be able to predict where it's going, but you can certainly see patterns, and they may not predict. They may not repeat. The patterns may not repeat, but there is some certain things that happen because of the way the market is. So this support and resistance is a big thing. So this here 5-8, this area here, and also this point here where it had this reversal, and also this level, and we're at this level again. So all this is support, and what this is essentially saying is that at this point, when it rapidly increased, this is when traders with lots of coins, lots of dollars, decided, you know what, the price is not staying there, we're going to buy up. It could be because they feel that it's cheap, it's not going to go any lower, and they're just going to buy it. Because some of these guys have plenty of Bitcoin or plenty of cash, and they can buy up tons. It only takes a small amount of Bitcoin. Let's say I've seen some of these trades of 20 million to move the market. So you've only got to look at if we have a quick look at Coinlib, give you an example. So we have a look at Bitcoin. We'll just open up that chart. So you'll see that it's just like when you trade, if you're big enough or have a big enough order to actually place that order, you're going to wipe out all the orders that are already existing, and the price will move because you need to. Like if you want to buy $20 million worth of with Bitcoin, you're going to go through a lot of orders, and each one of those orders has a certain amount that they're selling, but once that's completed, it moves on to the next order and the next order in the order book. So for example, this one here, as you can see, we're talking about every 5 minutes, $3 or $4 million worth of volume, and this one here, this total volume was about 14 million. So you can see how the price was at like 6.1 and then went to 6.2. And essentially in that 15-20 minute period of time, there was 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, 24, 30 million. Is about $30 million worth of Bitcoin purchased. And with that, it moves the value from 6,150 up to around about 6,260. Okay, so now it just means if you and I come along with $1,000 or $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, it doesn't really move at all. But if you come in with 30 million in 20 minutes, you're going to wipe out all these orders, and then the price is going to go up. So basically, this is where we're at again. I didn't anticipate that we're going to see this continual, I suppose you could say a bear market, but this continual retracement back here, and how it hasn't really broken through. So I didn't expect that. I can expect it to continue on like it has been like from last year, but that wasn't the case. So you got to look at it and go, okay, we're at this support level, where to now? Well, one thing's for sure, nothing stays the same for very long. So at these levels, the price shot away. Okay, it happened here as well, and at the moment we're just edging into it. So it's quite possible that we're going to see a move away from this support. That's if the same people that were involved in this support level before participate. If they don't participate in this support, we're going to get a huge drop, because people are expecting it to happen, but it doesn't, and it will continue to fall. But then ultimately it's going to make Bitcoin cheaper and better off. So now what's the difference is, like, we're at this point 6,200 compared to probably October, November last year when we were at this point. Now up to this point the market had been going really well. We've seen just gains all year long. Everyone was doing extremely well. We had a little bit of pullback there back in September. So everything was going good, and then then it just shot off, and it just was crazy. Probably to do with all the news, and it was just everywhere. Every man and his dog knew about it. So we're just back at these levels now, And what's interesting is, I mean, a lot of the sentiment has changed because a lot of people have lost money in this period of time. It's been, 6-7 months of this downtrend where it's, not continuing. But if you get back to it, we're nearly back at that point in November where we were previously. And up until that point, everything was going well for Bitcoin. So I still think we're going to be moving from that. I think that this has allowed time for a lot of the markets and a lot of the institutions to get involved and get things in place, because you can't expand and bring on new users and process payments and do trading if those trades can't get completed or people can't get onboarding. So all these basically all these things here, like you can't continue. Let's say it was 20,000. If the price went up even more, right? What that means is there's actually more money and more users buying Bitcoin. Well, to physically buy that, you've got to have more places to trade. There've got to be better systems to manage the onboarding of people. So this is like a fundamental technology thing, where and also the legality and the big money that can't come in because they're not going to put it into something that's not legal for them. So yeah, I just think this is a bit of a consolidation period at the moment, and I think that I really don't think we're going to see like a decline any further than this. I could be wrong, but I'm still optimistic that we're going to see more. And the reason I say that is because a lot of these projects in the last 12 months have come out and have basically are there on the market. And once these start solving problems and making a difference, you're going to start seeing the demand for those products increase. So yeah, I'm pretty positive about the whole thing. Morning, Gordon. How you doing, mate? So yeah, pretty excited about that. And I think that's all I have to share with you this morning. I might finish on something a bit fun. I just did this video. This was an earlier video I did. I like to do a little bit of droning with my drone, and I got a little DJI drone. So I've done a video, and I might share that with you now. And yeah, actually, before I do that video to end on this live, if you don't know, I've actually nearly completed, very close. I've got a crypto getting started guide. Anyway, it's currently it's going to be free, right? It's only going to be free to the people who sign up for the pre-launch. Okay, so you just need to go to actually I'll put a link below for you if you want to click through, or you can go to ecomrebel.com and click here to start. And when you click through, you'll get onto the page. All you need to do is put your email address in, and what you'll do is you'll need to confirm your email address. You'll get an email from me to confirm it. And as soon as I've got this course available, which will be very shortly, I will send you an email to let you know it's available, and I'll give you a special coupon code so you can go through the course. But it's a really good course to learn all the basics. And to cover a lot of things a lot of people are not sure about. So yeah, if you're interested in that, check that one out. Alrighty, so thanks very much, and I'll go to my little video I've got going, and hopefully, let me find it. Hopefully this is the one. Alright, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.